So this is just a little video on music marketing, particularly what I see Travis Scott and his team doing right now, which is working and is something that you can possibly do if you're trying to get your music out there.
So early in the day, they dropped one cover art which kind of looked like a theme park.
Then they had like this big gold Travis Scott head, which was like the entrance to the theme park or something like that. So one main point about that image is that it went up because it was so unique. Like everything in the image just kind of draws you in, but in particular that
Big gold Travis Scott head
just kind of stood out. It was a unique image which is going to stick in people's minds versus just your regular cover art. So that was a big point right there and something that you should consider when you're making your cover art. So then later on in the night, they dropped the second version of the same cover. It looked similar, but it was different. Looked a little more wild, and it took place at nighttime.
It had some things that were different, some things that were the same.
But one thing that was the same was, again, that
big gold Travis Scott head
that will stick into people's minds. So now the whole world is going crazy, you know, like, oh shoot, this image is so dope. But not only that, since they dropped it for a second time, they reinforced that unique image into your head or into their fans' heads, or even people that are not Travis Scott fans. That image is now in your head. So then I wake up this morning and I see the Travis Scott, like life-size big old Travis Scott head is literally popping up like throughout the world. Like, okay, there's one that popped up in Atlanta. There's one that popped up in front of some music store in Houston. There's one that popped up in New York and people are taking pictures with it and et cetera, et cetera. This thing is just popping up. So what exactly is Travis Scott and his marketing team doing here? They're getting an image in your mind that you can remember. They're continuing to reinforce this image into your head. So by the time the album drops, you're familiar with the image. So you see that image scrolling down your Instagram or your Facebook, Twitter, whatever, you're more likely to pay attention. If it says click this link to listen on Spotify now, you're way more likely to do that versus the case of you not seeing the image before. If you hadn't seen the image before, you probably won't be clicking the link. People gravitate towards things that they are familiar with, and that's something that you should think about when you're releasing your music. Like a lot of rappers that I know, they will drop a song, promote it on that day, maybe 3 days after that, maybe a week after that, but then that's it. They'll just stop right there. But Travis Scott, he started this promotion early, which is something you should do, but you should start way earlier. You should start like 2 weeks earlier. And then you promote it when you drop it, and then you promote it for a good 2-3 months after. So you got to go ahead and start getting people familiar with stuff. Don't expect that people are going to listen to your like the first time that they hear about it. They said that it takes about 7 times for somebody to be familiar with your brand before they actually trust the brand. That goes the same for your music. That goes the same for your mixtape.